I'm sure you've had your share of relationships out there, whether that is with a partner or family members, a business relationship, a personal relationship. And what's the one thing that is absolutely required in every relationship in order for it to be successful? Trust. And just like in any relationship, that is also what is required in order for you to have a successful relationship with a potential client and get them to turn into a client. And there's so many of us that are actually lacking the skills and the know-how in order to create a context so the potential client really trusts you to hold them in their process and support you in getting what it is that they desire. My name is Renata Melo. I'm a feminine leadership and sales mentor. And this channel is here for coaches, healers, and service providers to really embody yourself in your mission so that you can do what you know you're here to do in an aligned way, in a way that feels really empowering to you. So let's dive right in. And the first principle that you actually get to tap into in order to create more trust in your relationship with your potential clients is the idea that you can only meet people at the level that you have met yourself. And so how does this translate in sales, Renata? What are you talking about? The point is that a lot of people in sales are avoiding asking deeper questions, tricky questions, because they feel uncomfortable with those questions themselves. And so a huge part of the sales conversation and to establish trust is to have people really feel like that you can hold them in their mess, in their vulnerability. And you can only do that if you can show them that you can bring them there and be a strong, grounded support for them while they're there. In order for you to do that, you need to be able to ask the questions that so many of us avoid asking. After coaching hundreds of coaches and service providers in this topic, the one thing that they continuously do that stops them from getting to a point of the conversation where the client is fully sold in working with them is because you're not digging into the problem enough. You're not asking deep enough questions that will actually allow the person to reveal what it is their issue is. And by that, to really be in touch with their pain, with their problem, because that is extremely vulnerable. And because the service provider, the coach, the healer is avoiding being in that level of vulnerability, their potential client can't be in that level of vulnerability either. And therefore, we stay at the surface level and we're not able to get the conversation deep enough. So if you have embodied these things, if you have done the work yourself and you're able to show up to that conversation and talk about anything with a strong, grounded presence, you're able to take your potential clients there as well and show them that it's safe, that it's okay. And by that, establishing trust in a relationship. The second principle around the same topic is that you have to be willing to accept whatever answer to your questions in order to stay in full integrity in a conversation. And what this means is that you're not attached to the person on the other side receiving you nicely or accepting your questions or answering your questions to the level that you want. They might actually not be available for it, and that should be okay. Or they might just brush you off, and that should be okay. It just means that they're not ready to go there, but you were able to take a stand for them and take a chance for them in order to bring them into a level of the conversation where you can actually keep it real. And so when you are completely unattached to being liked, to being well received, to being accepted, and to receiving a yes, okay, or a positive answer for them, then you're able to actually ask the questions that feel tricky and sticky and just hold your presence there strong, because whatever comes back at you, you're completely unattached to it. And you're not making their answer about you. You're strictly asking those questions in pure service to them. So if the question is actually not in service to them, and so they think, you don't make that about yourself. Your ego is not wounded because you showed up with that question in order to serve them. And the third principle about the key to establishing trust in a sales relationship is that what earns you the sales is your willingness to stand in the fire with them. And what this means is that when it comes to a point of friction in a conversation, for example, during objection handling, you're not running away from it. So I see that happen over and over and over. People just don't want to get to the point of dealing with objection objections because they're so afraid of it. And so they just accept the no, or I need to think about this, or I need to talk to my partner, or I'll keep your contact maybe for later, or whatever it is, their first answer that the potential client gave in that sales conversation, instead of actually inviting them to actually be in a deeper level of conversation by means of objection handling. Objection handling is just a different way to go deeper into the conversation that you already started. You already did 80% of the walk, but it's the 20% that it's actually going to make the difference. And that 20% is the objection handling, and it is your ability to stand in the fire with your potential client in full service to them, because you're not afraid of being hurt, you're not afraid of being rejected, you're not afraid of receiving an answer that it will shake up your core, because you're so present and grounded and willing to be in this dance, stand in the fire with them, that you actually invite them into the objection handling by making them very comfortable with it and just inviting them to going deeper into it. And don't get me wrong, objection handling is vulnerable, is a little uncomfortable, but you are the leader. You're the one holding the space, and so you get to actually define a new meaning to that discomfort and actually invite the discomfort to now mean excitement and possibilities and exploration. And the best way to actually be comfortable with objection handling is by expecting it, is by knowing that of course it will come. Now it's the time that the dance really gets heated. Now is the time that we actually get to go places that we haven't been able to reach before. And these are the places that get really exciting. And so of course there's gonna be objection. Let's just redefine it in going into, and instead of seeing it as a lens of rejection, seeing it from the lens of exploration and possibilities. And so the moment that you start expecting objections to happen on your call, automatically the fear of objection handling disappears, because we're just waiting for it to walk it through the door at the right moment. And you know the moment that it's going to walk through the door because you're the one leading the call, and you're the one that has already established the framework of your conversation, of your call. You already know that you're getting to that point where there's got to be resistance here, there's got to be friction, and so therefore objection is going to enter. Welcome, invite it in, and play with it, dance with it, and see where it gets you. When you can really hold yourself with presence, groundedness through objection handling, you inspire a level of trust and confidence in your clients that they have likely not seen before, because it lacks in so many people. And that's the level of embodiment that you get to have and show up with in order to really hold your clients and show them that you are the best person to support them, to show them that they can fully trust you, to show them that they can fully surrender to you in order to get the outcome that they desire. And if you want to go deeper into how to establish trust with your potential clients and with your clients, click on the next video where I go deeper into this subject and give you more clear examples of how you can create that. And if I have shared anything that has resonated with you in this video, subscribe to this channel. This is where I'm going to be sharing a lot more on embodiment, leadership, self-expression, sales, as well as holistic and spiritual practices, so that you can lead your mission fully tapped in, tuned in, and turned on.